Item: SCP-726. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures: a single pair of human SCP-726 samples are to be contained at Site-17 in a padded cell for their own safety, cleaned of any waste matter at 24-hour intervals. A diet of mixed vegetable slurry is adequate for their nutritional needs. A jar of smooth peanut butter may be provided to pacify subjects during cleaning and examinations. On a quarterly basis, subjects shall be provided a pair of mixed-sex cadavers, and terminated after successful reproduction. Absolutely no other animal tissues of any kind are permitted in the enclosure at any time. Description: SCP-726 are physiologically and genetically identical to the eggs and larvae of Lucilia sericata, a species of blowfly common worldwide in warm climates. When larvae hatch on decomposing animal matter, they begin to consume non-living tissues as normal until none remain, at which point they collect at a central point and begin to regurgitate a continuous stream of healthy, living cellular matter, and will multiply in number by unknown means as volume increases. If uninterrupted, SCP-726 will reconstruct a complete body matching that of the original tissue source. The reconstruction process occurs at high speed, resembling footage of maggot activity in reverse, and ends with the full restoration of life functions as all larvae abruptly drop off and appear to disintegrate. While otherwise restored to optimum physical health, any organism reconstituted by SCP-726 exhibits only the mental processes of a mature blowfly. Instances instinctively follow the wafting odors of decaying organic materials and attempt to consume them via licking and sucking actions. Instances of all species move clumsily and periodically spasm in an apparent attempt to beat non-existent insect wings, with avian and chiropteran examples failing to achieve flight by their usual means. Proximity to any source of decaying flesh will excite subjects into mating behavior, coupling without regard to original species. Any mechanically successful copulation will produce a fertile clutch of SCP-726 eggs, which reconstructed females attempt to deposit on any appropriate food source. SCP-726 has proven capable of replicating a complete body from any volume of flesh regardless of its condition, including multiple copies of the same body from disconnected fragments. Reconstructed bodies that have subsequently expired can be reconstituted again by SCP-726 like any other tissue sample, but are subject to an increasing degradation of accuracy. See attached generation log. Discovery: on the 16th of August, 19, a Mrs. Faber of Beckley, West Virginia, was discovered nude in a dumpster behind a local, engaging in redacted, with a large male, redacted, and subsequently hospitalized for acute dementia. Over the following weeks, locals reported outbreaks of abnormal animal behavior, including large numbers of domestic cattle, swine, and poultry inconsistent with local livestock. Foundation operatives deduced the reproductive habits of SCP-726 and discovered animals reconstituting from meat scraps in the dumpster where Mrs. Faber had been found. During containment sweeps, identical instances of Mrs. Faber were found wandering the woods near her property. Under interrogation, Mr. Faber admitted to the murder and dismemberment of his wife.